wooed. All right.
That sounds so good.
All right, cool. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask Broman episode 76. It is August 25th, 2008. I hope you're all having a fantastic time in our eternal quest to try and bring as much value on the podcast to you folks. I pay attention to different streamers in the space, and the number one thing that usually comes up after streaming with family, which if you haven't listened to, the episodes where we've had some parents on, including K-Magic 101 and others, I would recommend going to listen to those, is this question: how do I stream full-time and have a full-time job? So we are joined today by Smashley. She is a Twitch partner. She has been, I don't know how long she's been streaming. We didn't have a previous conversation about this, so I don't want to guess wrong. But when she just recently went full-time, and I know at minimum she had a full-time career and streamed full-time for at least 3 years. Is that correct?
That is correct. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, I just want, before we get into anything, I just want to hear, your story. What brought you into Twitch and content creation, in the beginning, what inspired you to start making content? And then, and then we'll get into, the details of how the fuck you did both of those things for so long.
For so long, for 3.5 years.
That's a minute. That's a long time.
Yeah. It's actually longer than a minute, Professor Bro.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. It's this kind of podcast, chat, just in case
you're
anyone who's listening, it's going to be this kind of podcast. Okay. Yeah. So let me know how did it all get started?
So in college, I actually played Counter-Strike professionally. So I've always been I've been in the esports scene for a really long time. I was always interested in esports and just getting into all of that, but there wasn't really any broadcasting back then too much.
Yeah, so that was, how many was that, 7 years, 8 years ago, before Justin TV, or?
It was before Justin TV. It was
okay, yeah. So before Justin TV means at least. Yeah. So that's a minute. Yeah.
It was when Source came out. Is when I was really big.
Holy balls. Source. Okay, yeah, some time.
So way back in the day. So yeah, I was really big into that, and then I almost flunked out of college because I
oh shit.
I was putting in too much time into doing esports. So I kind of broke away from everything. But after I graduated and stuff, I got into Dota 2. Oh god. I wasted so much of my life on Dota 2.
Okay.
But Dota 2 brought me to Twitch. They have the international every year.
Biggest prize pot ever this year, right?
Yeah. And
it's 26 million?
It's prize pool every year. They have
the exponential growth. Yeah.
So, but it was the first time that Twitch kind of came into my radar. Because they were like, hey, we're live broadcasting this on Twitch. And I was like, what the poop is Twitch? Uh-huh. And so went over to Twitch, watched the internationals, really awesome. And I was like, at the time, I was really big into Dota and Warframe, which you're playing right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I wonder if they have Warframe on here. And so I checked out Warframe. And a good buddy of mine now, but at the time I had no idea who he was, King Radnoff.
Okay.
I tuned into his channel. He was the first person on Warframe, and I was like, "Holy poops! This guy has 7,000 followers, and he's got 100 people watching him, and
yeah, and you're like, what?
Naive, yeah. In my little naive mind, I'm like, this is crazy awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then I literally thought I can do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. It was literally I got into streaming because I was watching him for 3 months, and I was like, man, everybody tells me I'm, relatively mediocrely funny. So
gotcha.
Maybe I can hang out with some people, because at the time, most of my real life friends didn't really play video games. Wanted a few more people to hang out with and play some video games. So my initial goal was find 5 people just to hang out with and play some Warframe with.
Gotcha.
And within a month, I had somewhere around 30-40 people watching me, and I was like, what?
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. Okay.
I was like, what's going on? And And then 7 months later, I was partnered on Twitch.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you've been streaming since when?
Since December 23rd. I started literally just before Christmas.
December 23rd, 2012, 13?
14.
14. Okay.
14.
After me.
Yeah.
I thought you got started streaming before me for some reason. Anyway, keep going.
No. So yeah, I got started, and like I said, about 7 months later, I got partnered. But the crazy part is I was working a full-time job at the time, and not just any full-time job. If anybody is a programmer out there, it was a programming job.
Okay.
I started off as a programmer. I got promoted while I was still broadcasting to CTO, which was even more time. If you guys don't know about programming jobs, the time requirements for most programming jobs are anywhere from, like 30 hours a week to, 80.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
Depending on what's going on, like stuff could be breaking, deadlines, and so on and so forth. So I figured just, like streaming at the time was just a hobby until I got partnered, and I was like, well, this is interesting. I'm like making money off of this now. Like it's turned into a little bit more than a hobby. And I think if you're trying to broadcast and you're trying to be a like full-time working and full-time broadcasting, you're gonna have to have some huge work ethic and a drive to make both happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest part, honestly, is basically I ended up taking something that was a hobby. So whether it's, if you're out there in the audience and it's art or music or something, whenever you start taking something that is just a passion or a hobby and turning it into a business, it requires a lot of dedication, a lot more work, and sometimes it takes the fun out of it in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
But you put in that extra work and hard time, and you can make something out of it. And
hard time, like it's jail.
Yeah.
I mean, but you're not. I mean, like there's a parallel, for sure. But yeah, so what? How did you structure your life? Like, was your work, because the first question I know that's going to come up is like, I work shift work, I work blah blah blah. I have a variable schedule. So like, how did you structure your life so that you were able to stream and work full time? Because it sounds like, I mean, CTO is an important position. So you definitely weren't, you weren't working like a position that didn't have demands on it. So that actually surprises me a lot. So I'm really curious how you balanced those two things. Up front.
Well, I started off basically every day. I woke up at 7 a.m. Got up. This is Monday through Friday every single week, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Got up at 7 a.m. Got ready. Started work at 8 a.m. Worked at 8 a.m. to about 5:30 p.m. For the CTO job every day. And then I literally had like 30 minutes to an hour, depending on, I usually said I started my stream at 6, but I never, ever made that. Like,
okay.
Ever.
Okay.
Perpetually late.
Perpetually late.
Yeah. Because basically I'd have 30 minutes to set up stream, get everything ready, and shove food in my face all at the same time. Like, I was literally just like cramming food while like typing on the keyboard. Like, I went through probably like 5 keyboards just because of, food.
Eating and food.
Accidents.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really bad. Don't do that, by the way. That's a pro tip. Pro Smashley tip. Don't eat on your keyboard. Not good.
Ever.
Yeah. Or you end up typing something to an ex, and all of a sudden they're messaging you like, "Why did you type that to me?" And you're like, there was roast beef on the keyboard. So, anyways, but yeah, I had about 30 minutes to an hour, and then I'd start up stream. I streamed for. At first, I would put in stupid hours. I was losing sleep. Losing sleep all the time, and just basically like I went from 6 to oftentimes midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., and then woke up again at 7 a.m. the next day.
Woof.
The good news is I have insomnia, so I'm kind of used to that.
Okay.
Like, not having sleep.
Turn that frown upside down with insomnia. Just work 5 jobs. Holy shit.
But I later realized I was doing really, really bad. So like I cut back the streaming hours from basically 6 to 10:30. I was like, at 10:30, I can be done.
Hard stop.
And it hard stop, and let's get some sleep. Did I actually sleep? No, not really, because I don't know anybody out there who's a broadcaster. The moment you get done streaming, there's a wind down time. Like,
yes.
You can't just go right from streaming to sleeping. I don't know anybody that does, and it's usually at minimum an hour to 2 before you can at least.
Yeah, because you're putting on a show, you're entertaining people. Like whatever your flavor is, like your brain is in a state where you're entertaining people, you're interacting with people, you're reading stuff. Yeah.
Well, some people entertain. I don't know.
Everyone tries. If you're not trying to entertain people on Twitch, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, no, exactly. And whether you're entertaining via just being goofy or telling jokes or telling stories or just showing off your skill set in video games, you need to provide some sort of entertainment. But yeah, I made it a hard stop, and then that allowed me to keep doing it for a while. I'd probably say about 2 years into broadcasting, I was finally making enough to quit. But ran into a small hiccup. The apartment that I was living in kept raising the rent.
Oh, okay.
Really bad.
So you kind of got rent trapped.
I really did get rent trapped.
Yeah, that
sucks.
Rent
trapped to the degree of 50% more than what I was originally paying. Over the course of 4 years, the rent went up by about $500.
Ouch.
So, what was originally affordable on just my CTO job became only affordable via streaming and my CTO job.
Ah, okay.
And so I got really roped in, and so basically I was kind of stuck there until I found a new place to live that was affordable and that could allow me to live directly off streaming, which basically put me at about 3.5 years of doing that. And so a lot of people are like, how did you do this for 3.5 years? A lot of sanity checks, honestly. A lot of going, why am I doing this? And honestly, follow your dreams and your passions was a big thing for me.
That was your answer. Like you kept doing this because you're like, this is what I want.
This is what I want to do. Yeah, I want to.
So
entertain people. Like
gotta pay the time.
number of people that come in and say like, and I've seen it in your chat too, and so many other broadcasters, like, you make my day, like, or come in and go, I had such a crappy day until I came into your stream, or you put a huge smile on my face, or just literally seeing lulls in chat.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Like knowing that I'm making someone else laugh or crack up or whatever, or just have a general better day, just kept driving me, honestly. Like, so bad. And then of course there were days where I was like, I just can't stream. You know, like there were days where like I was exhausted, lost sleep, was going on like 3 days without sleep, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know. But still kept going and eventually make a career out of it. Now that's not great advice for anybody. It's like how do I balance this? The one thing I'll say is you have to have that drive is one thing. Like, if you don't have that drive to make it happen, it's not going to. Like, it's in your hands to make it happen. And a lot of people are like, they'll give up on it or so on and so forth. But one of the things that was constantly in my head is that even if I didn't feel like it on some days, unless I was physically unable to be entertaining, I made it a point to be on that stream. I made it a point to hit that start button and stream that set time, and actually putting in that hard stop that we talked about earlier at 10:30 kind of cemented that schedule I had, and was like, this is my schedule. I'm going to make it if I can. This is my other job now. And making it, like, considering it as your other job was one of the really big things, because it's kind of like, you're your own boss, but like, how would your boss feel if you just didn't show up to work one day? You're like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, like, pass. I'm not going to work pass.
Yeah. And then your boss goes, we're going to pass on your employment. See ya. So yeah, it was.
Yeah. Dude,
This is my
you get
second job
fired.
now. You know, the moment I started making like enough money, I was like, I'm gonna treat this like my second job.
Discipline said like it's super key.
Oh yeah.
Like and it's a very underrated trait, like actually treating whatever your hobby is, and that's something I try and focus on, because like we talk a lot about streaming, but I think everything that we talk about in the streaming space is directly applicable to anyone who's operating a small business or a startup. Like the idea that just because you want to do this full time, and what people see is like they see the fun, or they see the one-sidedness of everything. They see the show, right? And anyone who's an expert in any field makes the hardest parts of their job look easy. Like the best programmers in the world, like it's easy. The best acrobats in the world, you're like, oh, it's so effortless, but in reality they're flying through the air at like 80 miles an hour, and they could die at any moment, but they got a smile on their face because that's their job.
Yeah, for sure. And the way I kind of look at it is we're like as broadcasters, we're kind of the opposite of the CIA.
Okay.
Here's how I'm gonna put that. If you ever look at the CIA, all their successes are private, but their failures are public.
Gotcha.
And when streaming, it's kind of the opposite. All of our successes are public, but our failures and all the work that we put into and are private. So for instance, like those days where you get no donations, you get no subs, you get no follows, no one really notices those days. Like you don't see those days where there's just nothing happening on the stream. No one really, it's not called out, it's not paid attention to. But like a lot of people and everybody knows is the big days. Those days where you have like huge donation trains or sub trains, and people are like, I want that to happen to me.
Yeah.
They miss those, like that roller coaster ride of up and down.
They don't understand. They didn't see the your dashboard for the 5 months where everything was shrinking less, like your sub count or your follower count and people who are tuning in every day. Yeah, exactly. I think that's people like to focus on the upside, and they don't realize that there is a downside. And that breaks a lot of people out of broadcasting. That's actually one of the first pieces of advice that I give anyone who like, if you go back and listen to the first episode of the podcast, one statistic about Twitch that really shocked me was that most people on Twitch, and we haven't said this on here in a while, so it's probably new information for folks. Most people on Twitch start and stop broadcasting within 90 days.
Really?
Because anyone on Twitch that has an account can stream, but most people stop within 3 months. I think the numbers between 80 and 90%. And there's no other industry where you can guarantee that you will be 80% more successful than everyone else in it just by sticking it out.
Very good point.
And so, like, if you can have the discipline to, like you said, push the stream button every day that you physically can be entertaining, and show up, you beat out a massive amount of your competition just by consistency. And there's a real practical number behind that. I've always told people like consistency is super key, but like just building in that discipline of saying like, I'm going to take this and treat this like a second job. I'm going to make sure that I start as often, even if it's not the same time every day, as many days a week as I can. It'll get you ahead of the game really quickly. And then I feel like there is a curve after someone's been doing things for 3 months. You really start to define your style and understand what it is about Twitch that you really like doing. And you start finding ways to approach community and things like that. So what would you say to somebody that wants to stream full-time or part-time, and they say they don't have the time to stream because of their job? Like what is your advice in that situation? Because I have very harsh advice. My harsh advice is you don't want it enough to push the button every day.
That's kind of what it boils down to, but it's also the same. I feel like the same people who say that are the same people who say, I don't have time enough to work out, or I don't have time enough to do this one thing that I want the results from, but I don't want to put in the effort. And I know that's really harsh advice, but that's what it kind of boils down to, is the effort. It comes first. You know, if you want those results, you got to get out there and get it. And the thing I would tell you is, if you really want to make it happen, then you know, make it happen. Like, you have the time, whether or not you believe it or not. You can cut other things out of your life. You can, and I had to, you know, like, I cut out, like, I lost like a ton of friends, you know, lost,
Same.
like, a lot, like, so much of the rest of my
sacrifice.
life, you know, like,
yeah.
Cut out so much, like my free time, relationships, all of that. But it's the pursuit of a dream, and if that is your dream, then go make it happen. So, like, whether it's streaming or anything else, you know, if you're trying to make it a business, like, you need to put in that time. And if you don't, then it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that one of the biggest catch points for people when they have a job and they hear things like, you need a schedule. Your schedule, I have two things I want to say. One, your schedule is your schedule. You know, when I started streaming, I had shift work, which was variable. So one week I would work Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and the next week I would work Sunday, Monday, and Thursday, and then the next week I would, like, so it's all over the place. And do you know, like, it's the solution to that's super simple. You just tell your community your work schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you tell your community your work schedule. Hey guys, here's my schedule for the next 2 weeks. So these are the times where I definitely won't be on. These are the times I will be on. You know, it takes 15 minutes of sitting down, you know, in an Excel spreadsheet to make a shitty garbage graphic that you can tweet out, which everyone will think is hilarious, that says what your stream schedule is. You know, and then to sort of back up what you said, I think a lot of people look at their schedule right now and they say, I can't do it right now, so I can't do it. And I will never disbelieve anyone who says I don't have the time, but what I will ask for you to do is prove to me that you don't.
Exactly.
You know, if it, and then it becomes a matter of, you have to consciously sit down with your schedule, right? And then you say, okay, well, do I need to go out every single Friday night? Do I need to whatever? And you figure out the parts in your life where you're like, I will, I'll be more than willing to sacrifice this in order to, you know, pursue my dream. You know, so for me, since you brought this up, I basically completely lost contact with my family. That was partly because I was really focused on what I was doing, and partly because my dad told me that he thought I was making a massive mistake, and I said, okay, cool, I'll see you in 5 years. I was very like, okay, well, then I guess we're not talking until I prove you wrong. Like, that was very much my mindset, because it was my dream and I wasn't going to let anyone, including my parents, stop me. You know, I wasn't going to let the negative energy of their doubt into my life. But, you know, so I stopped, you know, I lost contact with a lot of my friends. I lost contact with, you know, obviously with my family, which that relationship's way better now. But the commitment that you have to make to sit down every single day and make it happen, like, it's key. And I think a lot of people just want to work around it. And, you know, what's the shortcut, right? What's the shortcut to, like, I see where you are right now. I want to be right there. How do I get there in a month? And there's not, like, there's really not a shortcut for Twitch.
There's not at all. And it's a lot. You can get lucky for sure. And I think a lot of people are banking on getting lucky, but it's so much making your own luck. It's putting yourself in the right place at the right time, and putting yourself in that place and right time often enough to make that luck happen. Yeah. As well. But yeah, no, you said. No.
I would just keep going. No, you're preaching. I love it. It's great.
It's just like, a lot of people don't recognize, like, how much leisure time they spend, especially TV. Like, that was the first thing I cut out, was TV entirely. I just cut it completely out of my life, you know, because part of it, you know, like, when you're broadcasting, part of it is, hey, we're having fun. I mean, we're playing video games for a living, you know, it's fun. It's very mentally draining, and and you're having to be entertaining and so on and so forth. But at the same time, we're having fun, like there is fun involved. And so one of the things I first recognize is like all this extra fun stuff, like stuff I can label as leisure or fun, just cut that out. Like cut it completely.
Go have fun on stream. That's what I always told myself.
Go have fun on stream.
Figure out a way to entertain yourself on stream.
Because if you're not having fun on stream, then you're going to be looking for that fun elsewhere.
Yeah.
And you're going to be spending time elsewhere that honestly you could be spending on your dream. Like, and that's kind of how I looked at it. Like, if there was time for me to spend time on the stream, whether it was working on assets like for the stream itself, like graphics, videos, so on and so forth, I spent that time. And it got to a point where I, so much overworking myself, but even then continue pushing for that dream. And if you get to a point where you're like, holy crap, I need a break, take those breaks, but don't stop. Like, take a break. Give yourself exactly like 2 days or 1 day or something like that. Like, give yourself an exact number of days and come back and do it again. Come back and continue that streak. One of my teammates, DJ Knight, a lot of people look at me and go, how did you work full time and stream full time for 3.5 years? And I'm like, I don't know, but this guy over here literally streamed 1,000 days in a row. Like, didn't miss a single day. And so there's people out there that I look up to for their drive. And I'm like, I couldn't do that. Like, I had to take breaks, But like at the same time, like, yourself and your mentality, but you got to drive that mentality like harder, push it harder.
Sorry. Chat, just for anyone who's tuning in and saying weird things, Smashley is our guest today. I'm not giving Smashley advice. She's here to give you advice. Don't be weird.
Oh, hello.
That's for the people in chat. There's some people in chat who are like, I don't really think this person needs Broman's advice. No, she doesn't. Smashley has been crushing it for a long time on Twitch. So you've been streaming for a long time. What was the what was the goal like of the transition point? Did you set up when you sat down and like you got in this rent trap situation? Did you sit down and schedule like I need this much money in my bank account before I can make this move?
Yes.
Like I want to know the super practical steps, because I think that those are the things that people don't like when you and I do them, right? Like when we were figuring out our path through Twitch, they kind of seemed like second nature, right? Yeah. But that you just go like, oh, well this is the right thing to do because you're in it. And it seems really practical, but from the outside, it might not be an idea that people have thought of. So how did you lay out the blueprint to like getting out of the situation you were in into full-time broadcasting?
Yeah, sure. So basically the first thing I did was figure out like my exact expenses. And this is really hard for a lot of people because it's not just your rent or your power and water and so forth. It's, it's your food and your going out money or your, I don't know, your extraneous purchases and stuff. The things that you spend to make your life your life. And figuring out how much money you spend every week or every month, that was the hardest part, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't just, like how can I afford to live here? But it's really so much like how much am I spending for me altogether? And once I figured that out, it was more or less, I wanted to make sure that how much money I had like in reserve was enough for half a year of if stuff goes completely south, if stuff hits absolute bottom, that I can afford to live for three months to a half a year.
Okay.
If stuff just goes completely bottom. The other thing that I made sure that I wanted to do was, a lot of people see our donations coming in and think, like, holy crap, that's really awesome. You're making a ton of money or whatever. They
Yeah.
miss the whole fact that we really don't.
Yeah,
but-
there's a lot of back end structure to how money works on Twitch.
Oh yeah.
So
sure.
I want to get an accountant on here one time, but it's like the baseline, since I know that many of you will be curious, is basically you're an independent contractor. So 40% of your money, if you live in the United States, approximately is going to go straight to the government in one way, shape, or form. So if you get $100 tip, you get to keep 60.
Yeah, that's the worst part is tax season. Oh my god. But the other thing I wanted to make sure is that basically not including tips or donations is that on just income from Twitch itself, whether that's subs, ads, the new bounties, etc., is that my income was enough to at least pay for my rent. So anything that was coming over that, whether that was donations and stuff, was going towards my general welfare of, food, etc. and stuff. But I wanted to make sure that at least my subs could cover my rent and power and water, just my basic,
I did too.
Shelter.
That was my goal. A lot of people were like, "Hey, what was your goal when you first started streaming on Twitch full time? How'd you know you were going to go full time?" I was like, "I made $1,241, because it paid all my expenses and gave me enough room for food, and that's it. Like that was literally all I needed. I was like, I need 400 subs, and then ad revenue would cover the rest. So that was my approach. Not 12. No, I said $1,200 a month, chat, not $12,000 a month. I don't live in Jeff Bezos's spare room. When I started streaming, I lived in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The place I was renting cost me, actually no, I needed $900 a month. The place for like bare necessities and ramen was $900 a month. It was $600 for rent, $50 to $60 for electricity, and then $50 to $60 for internet, and that was it.
See, now think of yourself in a rent trap like I ended up getting caught into, and having to pay, and I'm not even exaggerating, $1,500 a month just for rent.
Wow, yeah, it's tough.
Just for rent. So my sub goal was much higher than that, and so it took a while. But basically, me moving out of there and finally getting out of that lease and contract got me to the point where I could quit my other job, which was honestly the biggest saving grace of my life at this point, because now I'm following my dream and just that dream and not working for somebody else. I'm able to devote more time, stream longer, give more entertainment, and honestly find more enjoyment in my life in general, just for the fact that it's really fulfilling when you're doing your dream job.
Yeah, when you've worked so hard for it, and then it finally shows up. Well, that's fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, coming from someone who, has their own
convention. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, man, okay, you listen to me. Yeah, that's a lot of hard work too. But yeah, I think that the main thing that it comes down to when it's streaming full time and holding down a full time job at the same time is you have to take an inventory of how you're spending your time. Like the first thing that you gave up was like TV. That was the first thing I gave up too. No TV, no movies, no Netflix, no nothing. I didn't even get to watch other streams anymore. That's the other first big sacrifice, is like all these people you love watching on Twitch chat. If you want to stream full time, no, you don't get to watch them anymore. I tell people that are like, if you get really pushy with me in chat about like, how do I grow? Stop fucking watching my channel right now and go start streaming on yours. Like if you care that much, like you shouldn't be here right now because you've obviously got free time. So go start. So I think that it's just so important to take an inventory, and look at your time and say like, when can I get into this? When can I, what schedule can I make? And and realize that scheduling doesn't have to mean consistency. It doesn't have to mean you're on at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. every single day. It's just like a work schedule. If you work shift work, your stream can fill in the gaps of your work week. That's what I had to do when I got started. I'd work a 12-hour day, and then I would come home and stream for 4 to 6 hours. And if I didn't work that day, I would stream 12 to 16 hours. And that was kind of my life for a long time. It was very, yeah, I see the tax advice in the chat room. Sorry, not advice, just realities. No one here is a tax professional. IRS. Hi, IRS. Hi, IRS. So we kind of covered that. You also have and I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, and you can tell me shut up. But along with all of this stuff, you also shared like your whole fitness journey that you went on. I found that after I found out your story about like how much you worked and how much you streamed, and then like I saw this whole other side, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, so that is another really important thing that we don't get to talk about a lot on the podcast is broadcasters taking care of themselves. And obviously that's something that you made a priority. So like, and you mentioned it earlier, you said people that say they don't have time to work out, and clearly like you fucking still with all this other shit made it work. So like what was your strategy there? Like, how did you approach health and wellness with all of the other shit that you had going on?
Well, first of all, let me say shut up just because you gave me permission to.
Okay.
So.
Oh, okay.
That's all. No, I actually let's start with the bad. How about that? We'll start with the bad.
Sure.
For 2.5 years, I was sitting in front of a computer for 16 to 17 hours every weekday. Mm-hmm. Shoving food in my mouth, literally, as I said before, like I had 30 minutes to an hour to literally shove food in my mouth in between work and streaming, in between work and work. And I literally was like eating the worst foods, like eating while streaming, eating while working, just finding little places to get, nutrition became really bad for me. And I was at a really healthy weight before I started streaming, and I got really unhealthy, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I was pushing borderline like 190 pounds. A lot of people are like, you didn't look to 190 pounds. It's like, well, good clothing will hide that fact, but
camera angles.
Yeah, camera angles, so on and so forth. Some people literally will take their camera on Twitch and squinch it. They'll actually stretch it smaller to make them themselves look skinnier.
More slender.
I know that Professor Broman guy probably does.
I definitely don't, but I do the top-down angle because that's very favorable to people who don't have chins like myself. Trick of the trade.
Yeah, very much so. Also, good lighting is really good as well.
Yep.
But basically a year ago, just before TwitchCon last year, I literally looked like I was going up and down the stairs. I was on the 3rd floor of my apartment, which I never left because I worked all the time. And I was on the 3rd floor of my apartment, and I literally was getting groceries up and down, and I had to make 3 trips because of how many groceries there were. And I was like winded, like completely winded. Like I had to sit down because I got lightheaded. And it wasn't like it was hot outside or anything like that, but it was just like a huge wake up call that like I am completely and utterly out of shape. Like I am unhealthy at this point. Like I literally sit in a chair all the time for practically 3 years, and I was getting really, really, really unhealthy. So I decided to make a change. It started with just diet. Honestly, I tried all sorts of different diets until I finally landed on the keto diet, thanks to a few other broadcasters who recommended it. And basically, keto diet allowed me to eat bacon and lose weight, and I was like, this sounds great! So, I didn't mean to make that rhyme, by the way. So I started with just diet. And as I started losing weight, I, one, started feeling better about myself.
Yeah.
And 2, I also started to realize how much, like, weaker I had gotten. Just, like, in general. Like, how unfit I still was, even though I was losing weight, still not fit, like still not feeling healthy. Because, sometimes losing weight just doesn't make you healthier, period.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's when I started working out. But people are like, how did you have time to work out? You're already working 80 to 100 hours a week. And it's another one of those things where you make time or find ways to fit it in. And so what we started doing is I started incorporating working out into streaming itself. It started off as actually just a donation incentive at one point. And I was like, hey, if you guys do this, I'll do 5 squats or whatever. And then eventually I got the idea to incorporate in Warframe. Warframe often has some some really, really quick missions. Like the capture missions and exterminates are not even 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I realized, you know what? We can make this a thing. We can make it to where every time we complete a mission, I tied my workouts to the thing I love. And basically every time we complete a mission in Warframe, I have to do X number of reps.
Okay.
And it started off as just me. I was like, I'm going to do this. But literally the first day I did it, I was like, we're doing workout Warframe. The very first day I did it, I had people in chat I'm going to join in too. And I was like, I didn't realize so many of you were motivated to do this. And so the literally the second time we did this, we basically I encouraged people in chat to join me. And basically we're going to do 10 reps. And I was like, it doesn't matter what workout you do, because people have different disabilities or can't do certain workouts or so on and so forth. But 10 reps of any workout that you can fit in, do it every time we do a mission. And it doesn't really feel like a lot of working out, but over the course of 3-4 hours, it totals up to about, for just 10 reps, totals up to about 200 reps.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's really spread out. But for a lot of people, that's a lot of reps.
It's a lot of work.
More than they're getting.
It's a lot of volume for sure.
Yeah. And so eventually I started stepping my own game up and went from 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and was getting upwards to, 800 reps in a night.
Yikes.
Of squats and, I don't know, a million other things, lunges and sit-ups and crunches and everything. And it was really, really awesome. And the results were coming fast and strong, and it's honestly been really good. We've recently stopped workout Warframe mostly because I've been moving and haven't had time to set up a good space for it while streaming. Because I literally just moved. So I'm like,
yeah.
But we should be resuming that actually pretty soon. So if you guys are looking for a motivation to work out, there you go.
Yeah, I had a period of time on stream where I would do push-ups for subs when I was trying to get in shape for my wedding and all that other stuff, which was a mistake. It was a big mistake, but it was a good time. I think that's like a really interesting little hack. So this might be too personal of a question. So when I tried to do keto, I ended up with a large amount of diarrhea happening a lot. Is that something you encountered? I actually had to stop because I pooped my pants twice on stream, and I was like, I'm done.
Sounds like you had a little bit too much dietary fiber in your life there, Roman.
I tried all of the various fixes that were suggested. But if I laughed too hard, it was instant doo-doo pants time.
I never
for
had
sure
doo-doo pants, but I will say I had some room clearing farts sometimes. I was really happy that I had a mute button on stream, because I was like, and then there were times where I was like, oh God, I don't know if I could be in this room right now. I farted. It's killing my own self right now. It was really bad. But no, that's it's kind of comes with the territory of keto, honestly.
Yeah.
You get some really intense bowel movements there. It's really bad. It's really bad.
Yeah. I mean, I would giggle too hard And then I would just
You would just giggle too hard and just
it was gurgly and it was bad. That's yeah. That's bananas make you poop hard. Thanks, chat. Which you can't have bananas when you're on keto. That's way too much.
Yeah.
It's way too much. What's the word? Carbohydrates.
Carbs.
Yeah. So that was that's really. I'm glad that it worked for you.
Yeah, it's worked for a lot of people. Like, honestly, the amount of broadcasters on Twitch that have started keto.
Yeah, it happened. A lot of people started. A lot of people stuck with it, and I was just like, not for me in my pants.
It's not for everybody. I mean, honestly, you can lose just as much weight from doing any other diet. The reason why I did keto is because I tried so many other diets and I sucked at them. I was so bad at them. Like, I'd start a diet and I'd be like, you can't have all of your favorite foods, but you can have that one salad. But wait, take off the croutons. Wait, take off the dressing.
Yeah, you just don't get to eat anything. Yeah.
Can I have a diet where I can actually eat food?
Yeah, real food, please. Thanks.
Not the food my food eats. So yeah, I finally found a diet that was like, holy crap, I can eat steak and asparagus and I can go out to dinner and still eat. And I was like, and get healthier. I will say, if you guys are doing keto, it's not a long-term diet. So keep that in mind. There are some significant health risks involved with staying on keto for far too long. I'll be ending my final keto push here in less than a month. I'm literally just finishing up all of like the low carb foods that I have around the house and then stopping and going back to just using exercise to maintain weight.
Yeah. That's awesome. I recently started working out at like 5 a.m. because it's the only time that I can guarantee that I'm working out. So,
and that kind of falls back to what we were talking about with make time. Like, like too many people like I don't have time for this. Yeah. And I'm like, how much sleep are you getting?
It sucks. Like, I'm tired and I bitch about it all the time, but I have to do it.
Yeah, it's like,
which is great. That's like, I got a personal trainer, so now like I can actually complain because my trainer isn't me anymore. So I can be like, you suck. I hate you. And I found that to be very emotionally cathartic for me because I was in charge of my own like schedule for such a long time that having like an appointment where someone tells me what to do and I just go in, show up, work out with them and then leave, and I don't have to think about like, oh, what's next? And did I write down my reps and all that other bullshit? Helps a lot.
Yeah, very. It's actually one of the things with Workout Warframe that really helped me was we set it up on set days. We were doing Tuesday and Friday, and it was like Tuesday and Friday is workout day, whether it was Workout Warframe or Dauntless, which we did a few times, or we tried like different games with it, and some of them worked really well, some of them didn't. But basically it was Tuesday and Friday, and me missing those days or any of the times where I had to miss those days made me feel like absolute garbage. I felt like I was, because there were so many people involved, like we would have people working out, that I felt like I was letting them down by not being able to
accountability
show up for that. Yeah. And so it's kind of like you having someone to yell at, or someone, like expecting you
making it a community event,
your workout. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing for me. I was like, crap, guys, I'm sorry, I'm here, we're doing the workout, I'm sorry, I'm like an hour late, but we're doing it. Like,
I made it. Time. Yeah. That's
perpetually late, guys, all the time.
Always late. That's why she's in the way back machine. Yeah. So is there, before we start taking questions from folks, which by the way, if you ever listen to this podcast and you want to join us, you can always join us on Discord. It's discord.gg/broman. You hang out in the Ask Broman waiting room, and I will randomly select you. There's no application process. You can't give me money to get on the top of the pile or anything like that, or whatever other strange things y'all have offered. This is a free thing. All right. I don't pay gate stuff. So yeah, if it, and it is voice, so you do have to talk out loud with your voice to us on stream. So just be aware. So there's been a couple people who've been waiting here for a while. Before we get to them, do you have any like final thoughts? Is there any part of your Twitch journey that we feel like we didn't cover, or like a piece of advice that you think people really need to hear that maybe we didn't get to talk about? I want to make sure you get that out there.
Yeah, one thing. So I mentioned, and it should be apparent, but maybe it's not, that I mentioned I got partnered 7 months after I started broadcasting.
Yes.
And that's a really key piece of information, because I wasn't able to quit my other full-time job until 3.5 years after I started broadcasting. So for a lot of people who make getting partnered on Twitch a priority as like their end goal, that is just the beginning, by the way. Don't make getting partnership your end goal. Make it just a stepping stone to launch pad you into further and bigger things. And I just wanted to point that out, that like getting partnered is not like, oh, I can quit my other job.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
It's passing the job interview. That's what I call it. Like, it is Twitch saying your content is good enough that maybe you might be able to do this full time. Here's your card to get into the building.
Yeah, exactly.
And that was and I think that it's really interesting because you came at it from that way, and I was in a position when I started streaming full time to get a little bit, I don't know if we've actually talked about this on stream, so get ready to get emotional, chat, and anyone listening. So when I started streaming full time, I was actually married to someone who is not my current wife. I was married to my ex, and one of the reasons I was sort of afforded the ability to kind of take a shot at going full time is because me and my ex had this agreement where I busted my ass and I worked like 60 to 80 hours a week, so that she could go get her master's degree done. And then we were going to flip it after she was finished. So, she finished her master's degree. And so she finished that. She got her first job. We sort of moved to Indiana so she could take that first job. And it was way more money than either one of us had ever, made before. Not like we were filthy stinking rich, but when you aren't making minimum wage, everything feels like a raise. So I had been streaming a little bit before that, and I had built up like a decent community. People were tuning in every day, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to try this. So let's give it 6 months. So I like gave myself a deadline. Then we'll give it 6 months of me streaming full time. We'll see if I can get partnered. If I can get partnered, we'll see if I can replace my minimum wage income with Twitch income. And we managed to. I got really close to that, and then I had a life event chat, and that life event was. My wife left in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and didn't say goodbye. Ex-wife left in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. and didn't say goodbye. And, that was, to me, that was a moment where suddenly, the rug of my life, like that safety that was there with having the two incomes and like the security was just gone. And so I had an option to... let that kind of crush my dreams, or I could say, okay, this is a scary situation, but I'm going to like triple down on everything that I've got, and try and make this work. So, whether you have to set up for 3 years to go full time, or maybe you get thrown into a situation like I did, I think the thing that matters the most is staying committed. That morning, what I did is I woke up, I realized that, okay, this happened. And I woke up about 6, 7 a.m., figured out that happened, and then I made coffee and streamed. And then I did that the next day, and then I did that the day after that, and I kept doing it, because that was my dream. And it wasn't just my dream, it also became a proving point for me. I was like, I'm going to make this fucking work, because I didn't have anything left, in my life. Everything was like, obviously that was a moment where everything else was sort of in tatters. So, I took my shot to go full time because that happened, and thankfully everything worked out. So to sort of bring this around, whatever path that it takes you to go from where you're at, whether that's, you're just getting started, or you're in some sort of weird situation where you're getting rent trapped, or maybe you've had like a horrible life event, or like whatever you've got going on. you can find a way to make it work. As long as you accept the reality that the responsibility for your success and failure is entirely on your shoulders. Horrible shit can happen to you. Horrible, mind-numbing shit can happen to you. We've had other people on the podcast. My story's rough, but we had our first guest ever, Big Cheese Kit, who is a full-time broadcaster, but he was homeless. Actual living in a car, homeless. There's so many things that you're going to have to overcome in life. So it's okay to work really hard, whether it's on stream or your Instagram or your YouTube or your small business that you've been trying to get off the ground for years. Accept the responsibility 100% on yourself to make it work. The coolest thing that I think Smashley did is she sat down and she made a fucking schedule and said, this is how much money I need to get out of this trap. And wherever you're at, you might feel that way, like you're trapped, and maybe you can't get out of the trap right now, but you can start examining the trap that you're in and find where the gears are and the latches and the hinges on all the doors, and you can build your path out, and it will help you get to where you want to be, but it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it has to be your responsibility.
Very solid advice.
Yeah, fucking super exciting. So yeah, Smashley, thank you for joining us. You want to, I'm sure that you'd love to hang around and answer some questions people have.
Absolutely.
I would hope. But if you don't, you're a jerk. Wrecked. All right. So yeah, let's find somebody down here. These folks have been waiting for a minute. So let's get Jarrett.
Jarrett, you're our first caller. Welcome on in, Jarrett. What's your question?
Hi, Jarrett.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. What can we do for you?
I've been streaming for about a month now, just kind of getting into the motion of everything. And I was always wondering, what is the best way for, networking with people? Because I've been trying to do it whenever I get off stream. I go to somebody else's stream and, try to get, familiar with other people and, different ways like that. But it's always hard for me because I don't get the best viewership, I would say.
Okay.
I'd love to answer that.
Yeah.
Don't network people. Make friends with people. Networking is it's commonly called networking in Twitch. And some people see it as just that. They see it as a business opportunity to basically make another contact. But what you really need to be doing is making relationships with other people.
Yeah.
And you've got to put in the time for that as well. That's a time commitment. It's not just raiding somebody or hosting somebody and then piecing the hell out. You need to go over there and find people who are around the same size as you. If you're raiding people too big or too small, it's not going to help you. You really want to find people who are around the same size or maybe just a slightly bit bigger than you, and go hang out in their chat. Become a part of their community. Get to know them, especially if you love their content and so on and so forth. If you like them enough that you want to be friends with them, that's a person that make friends with them. Get over there and make friendships and relationships and let that be your networking. And there's a reason why Twitch as a whole is very much a large family, because the networking that we do is all, for the most part, making relationships and friendships with other people.
That is 100% the advice that I would give and have given on the podcast before. It's not networking, it's making friends. Because at the end of the day, to take it a step further, you don't want people that are going to help grow your channel. You want people that are going to help you make amazing content. And the amazing content only happens when you're working with friends, or even if they're not your friends, there's people that you make good content with, that you vibe with, that that it's always hilarious when you are playing with this person. I think that so much emphasis gets put on numbers, and the real win is when you find somebody that's, as Smashley suggested, around your size, and you start working together with the same group of people, and you all kind of rise up together. It's such an obvious strategy that so many people have done. But everybody wants to kind of try and lone wolf it, or they want to try and make it too businessy before it is necessary. So I echo everything that Smashley said.
Okay, yeah, see, I guess I was just trying to be more of a businessman than trying to build my relationships with people, and I guess that is a good way to look at it, and I really appreciate you guys' insight on it.
Oh, it's no problem. I'm not at all. Thank you for tuning in, and do you have any follow-up questions for us?
I guess something like I usually get like friends that come into the stream and watch me from there, but like if I have like a drifter that comes in, it's hard for me to get them to interact. Like what is the best way for me to keep them in the chat and get them interacting?
I would say wait until they say hello and then treat them like your best friend.
That's solid advice.
Like the second that they make themselves known, right? Don't call people out. But like if you're bullshitting with your friends and you notice your viewership tick up by one more person than you expect to be here, someone's in there. So just keep having friends, keep hanging out with your buds. And then the second they make themselves known, be like, oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? Like, what you been up to today? Oh, that's really cool. What do you do? Like, what do you like? Like, what kind of games do you like? What do you think about this game? Like, make that person your best friend, because they are like, this is a person who's randomly scrolling through Twitch, clicked on your stream and thought like they already have, like, their mindset is they're already interested in you. Okay. So if you show interest back, that solidifies that relationship.
Right.
All right. Awesome. And I think that'll do it for the questions.
Cool, man. Well, give yourself a shout out. Let everybody know where they can come hang out with you and your buds and find your channel and all that good stuff.
Okay. All right. You can find me on twitch.tv/JarrettMann. That is JarrettMann.
Okay.
And all my other links to anything else will be in the little panel in the bottom.
Got it, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Networking
really good questions.
Networking and making friends is always something that's like, it gets overly complicated.
I feel like that's most of Twitch, though. It's whether you're making friends with other broadcasters or just people in your chat. Like, you're building a community, not just, going out there and entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the most important being you, being genuine, being honest, interacting with people. Like, don't take any advice that we're giving you and be like, oh, Broman said that I need to give a shit about these people. If you don't actively give a shit about them and you're like, hello, random viewer, how are you today? It's obviously not going to work out. But
hello, random viewer. You are really special to me.
But getting in that mindset and then generating content, that's going to bring value to those people and build relationships. And this is something you said. It's about community. It is about building a community. The most successful content creators, the most successful franchises in entertainment have an insane community around them that is, actively maintained by either members of that community or by the people at the top or whatever. So taking on like that mantle of being like, I want to be a community leader. I want to learn about how to build a community that will benefit you so much. Like, it will benefit you so much in that, on Twitch and in general in your life. It's so important. Let's get Milky Dragon. What's up, Milky Dragon? How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. That's good to hear. What can we do for you?
Well, first question I want to ask was, so first, I streamed for like maybe 3 weeks about 2 months ago. I kind of stopped. It was like a super duper bare bone stream, nothing much.
Okay.
I was gonna ask how I should get a stream set up. I have some stuff, like I have a good microphone. I have a little webcam kind of just there. I was wondering just how to get it set up and make it appealing.
I think that this is a question that people ask a lot because they think that there's a right and wrong way, and there's really not.
I know about the whole it's your own stream personalization and that stuff, but like
cool. Yeah, so what's the deeper question?
Like, how do I make it not bare bones?
Like visually?
Yeah. Like, I don't even like my old stream didn't have anything except for just the game.
Oh, well, first of all, there's a lot of tools out there that probably help you. You could do the really hard route like I did and design your own.
Yeah.
I don't recommend doing that unless you really want something unique. But if you take a look at Streamlabs, Streamlabs has recently been pumping out a ton of tools, designs, overlays, even using their Streamlabs OBS will automatically put a lot of that in there for you.
Yeah, I looked into that. I've already downloaded that and I've gotten that one set up.
That's great. But
yeah,
I think
that's great.
Yeah, I think that where you're at right now, it's really just about picking shit that you like. Like, I like this color. That's your brand. I like this image. That's part of your brand. I like this meme. That's part of your brand. And you inject all of that into the framework of whether it's Streamlabs OBS or Bebo or whatever that you start using. The key to making your stream look good is literally sitting down with the preview window open for hours until your eyes want to bleed. And I mean, like, aligning the pixels. Like,
my God.
Yeah.
I don't want to go into it, but
yeah,
yes.
but like it's literally, yeah. I mean, like, that's how you make your stream look good. You know, if that's where you're at, you know, if you're already making quality content and you really like what you're putting out there and all other stuff, and you're looking to sort of take the 201 level class of like, how do I increase engagement with visual elements? You know, the only guide to that is going to be doing your market research on Twitch, finding people's overlays that you like, you know, how are they executing those? Where are they getting the information from? Asking questions in chats, messing around on, you know, going on Reddit. Like, there's such a massive stable of even just general content creators in the creative directories on Twitch that are people who do visual stuff that are trying to get their name out there too. And you say, hey, like, let's collaborate. Like, I noticed that you have 2 viewers and you do logo design. Do you want to design my logo? Like, you know, just going out there and sort of bartering to get the things that you need. You know, it's a lot of legwork.
Yeah, I regularly say on my channel that for every 2 hours that you stream, it's usually an extra hour that you're putting in off stream. Like, there's so much work that goes into your broadcast. Now, that does get easier over time. Like, after, you know, 3.5 years, I'm not putting in nearly that much.
Yeah.
But I should be, to be honest with you, because that's more time that I can be making videos or getting emotes designed or working on new merchandise or anything like that. It escalates and escalates to where that time never really changes, to where you still need to put in that time. So right now you're in the phase of designing your general theme layout or your stream itself. And honestly, like, Broman nailed it. Like, find a color, that's your theme color. Like, I love blue, and literally my stream started off as me liking blue and hammers, and that's it. Like,
there you go.
Became Smashley.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
find a dragon and some milky white colors, and you got it.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Dragon that's a cow. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. So do you have any follow-ups to this concept? That we sort of help give you direction?
Yeah, I had another question. I gotta remember what it was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was about schedules. What should I do? Like, what kind of little details should I pay attention to set up a good schedule for myself?
I mean, like, if you want to get granular with it, like, the data points that you need to be looking at for setting up your schedule, and this is, let's say, given you have a completely open schedule, you need to pick games that are not the new hotness. So whether that's retro games, or a game that's been out for 2 weeks, a broadcaster that has effectively executed this strategy over and over again, that I would recommend taking a look into, is excessive profanity. he builds out a schedule and he wants to play through every game that he starts. So he will end up starting like the new release game 2 weeks after everyone else. Well, that's the trickle out period, right? Everyone wants to either watch a streamer play it on day one or play it through it themselves before they watch a stream. And then they enjoyed that experience so much, they want to have that moment again. There he is. That strategy is really underutilized. So playing stuff maybe 2 weeks after launch when people are still looking for it. That's key. Retro games are always great. Games that you love. Franchise playthroughs really do well as far as game selection. As far as timing, you need to look at who's on, when they're on, what are they playing? Are they playing what I'm playing? How do I work my schedule around them? When do I start? When do I finish? Down to the hour.
Yep.
Okay.
Can't emphasize that more. Scheduling and timing is everything on Twitch. So if you have a completely open schedule, like Roman said, just in general for setting up your times, you can look at, and I would highly recommend, and Roman has said consistency is key, and I can't emphasize that more, whether that's consistency in your streaming or whatever, but first and foremost, your times. And if you can make the same time every single time you stream, then that's going to give your viewers a time to look forward to every single time you stream. So if you can make 5 days a week, or if you can only make 3 or something, if you're hitting up, 9 p.m. whatever time every single time you stream, then your frequent viewers will start to understand, hey, 9 p.m. is on. I wonder if Milky Dragon is on.
Yep.
And tune into your show. And honestly, like, maybe finding a time that works best for you is what you should really focus on. Is find where you fit in on Twitch, and whether that's the super late night or early morning or prime time. Find where you fit in. Find where you can fit that into your life every day.
All right. Well, thanks for answering my questions.
No problem, man. You want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you on the internet?
Yeah, I'll be twitch.tv/MilkyWolf.
Milky Wolf?
Wolf. Oh.
Yeah, the dragon was already taken.
Ah, but you're dragging in here.
Yeah.
You should change that. Milky. All right, so twitch.tv/MilkyWolf. Twitter, Instagram, any of those?
I'm still working on that.
Hey, no
I'm
problem,
still on
man. Awesome.
The 3 stages.
I got you, dude. You have a great day.
You too.
Awesome. Oh, he's a nice guy. Getting started is always tough.
Okay.
Also, chat, just or anyone listening, we're talking about Twitch a lot today, but like as always, there are other broadcasting platforms out there, and you can stream on Mixer and you can stream on Facebook if you want, and you can make content anywhere. Following the same sort of advice.
Hitbox. Oh, never mind.
What'd you say?
I said you could even stream on Hitbox.
You can stream on Hitbox. Lol, Hitbox, dude, it's dead. So even that, when we're talking about scheduling, like even that is, you can actually pick where you want to take your shot at. If you're like, Twitch is too competitive, I want to go somewhere that's newer and maybe less populated, which is smart in the marketing world. Facebook and Mixer have been presenting some incredible opportunities for people.
Even Steam is now coming out with a streaming service.
And yeah, Steam's streaming service is something to keep your eye on. It has the potential to be incredibly game changing. What if you can't stream Fallout, or what if you can't stream Half-Life 3 unless you're streaming on, Steam TV? You wouldn't be able to watch a single Half-Life 3 stream on Twitch. It'd be a pretty big deal.
Half-Life 2 after 2 before 4.
Half-Life after 2 pre-4.
Yeah.
Those sort of yeah. So, and remember, when you're looking at these other platforms, if you say it's not as good as Twitch, of course it fucking isn't. That's why you're taking your chance there, because if it was as good as Twitch, everyone would already be there and your shot would be blown. Understand? Cool. Because I'll guarantee you, when we both started on Twitch, especially when I started on Twitch, it was a dumpster fire every other day.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Yeah, it was a dumpster fire every day. All right, let's get we'll get Mr. End of the Line.
Hey,
it's the end of the line for you, Bub. Dude, grown. Okay. So what can we do for you, man?
Well, I had
had a similar question to the previous guy,
Sure.
just in regards to like schedule wise. So, I mean, I know a lot of people usually are, quite busy in their lives. I'm just kind of curious as to like how you handled like settling down a permanent streaming time, especially with like, you mentioned, at one point you were just working your ass off basically outside of streaming. I'm just curious how you wound up handling things like that, because like for me personally, I haven't really like started up into the game of streaming yet. I've, like done it a couple times here randomly, but I'm just kind of curious how you guys handled that, because, obviously like I've got a job outside of that, as well as, like a girlfriend, handling, just kind of like daily stuff like my dogs and stuff like that. So I was just kind of curious as to what your guys' approach for, like actually finding time or like settling down on a time.
The one thing I'll just go ahead and say, it's not so much finding time, it's making time.
Yeah.
You gotta basically, you will have to, if you're wanting to, I don't know what your motivations are for streaming, but if you're wanting to make it successful in some way, and whatever that version of success means to you, that you'll have to make time for it. So for me personally, I worked 8 to 5 every day, and sometimes I ran over to 5:30, sometimes I got out at like 4:30, so and so forth. But basically I knew that I could set a time at 6 p.m. and make it every day, because I knew I could make that every day if I wanted to, every weekday. And even though that put a really big damper on my time, like I said earlier, I was shoving food in my mouth in between those times and like struggling to get the stream up and running in time and everything. I was perpetually late, but by 6:30 I was on. Even though I said 6 and I tried to make 6 every day, by 6:30 I was on like every day that I could. And it's mostly because you just got to make that time, knowing when you can cut out everything else out of your life to make that time. You do it. The thing I'll warn you about is, you said you got a girlfriend. I mean, I don't know how much time you're putting in, but you be a little worried there. I'm just saying. I'm just kidding, giving you a hard time.
Yeah, no, I mean, the really nice thing is that like I've talked to her about it before, bringing it up, like if I did want to actually take it full time and, go into it, it would be something that she was comfortable with. So luckily I'm fortunate on that note. But I mean, I was just kind of curious as to how you guys personally handled sorting that out. But that does make sense to, really just kind of force.
As far as the really practical advice, it's I didn't have a set schedule for a very long time. And like we said a couple times today, the schedule is every single second of every single day that you're not doing something else, you're streaming. Like that was my schedule. And every single thing that I could cut out of my life that took time, I did. I think that, just again to reiterate, if you were to open a small business, and let's say you really wanted to be a tailor, and you weren't spending 18 hours a day drumming up new business, showing off your skills, going to trade shows, meeting other people in the space that did trailers, finding out how to be part of your local business bureau, your tailoring shop wouldn't make it. And it is as competitive, if not more, on Twitch as anywhere else. So it, like, if you really want to, like, make it, whether that's getting partner, affiliate, whatever, you have to put in the time at the same level. It can start as a side hustle, and maybe you don't have a really great time to stream, but if you're one of those people, you're like, I want to make this my full-time job, I want this to happen, like that needs to be your approach from day one, trying to get from where you are right now into a place where, like, that whole structure can be your reality.
I got you.
Yeah. So that's my advice. Not like I'm trying to scare you off or anything, but like I'm not gonna undersell anybody on the time commitment aspect of what's needed.
Time commitment, and like honestly, like for, I'd probably say like it was like year 2 into streaming, I was dangerously close to losing my other job, because I was putting in so much time into streaming and putting in so much time outside of the actual stream into, like, developing new assets and in prepping new events and so forth, that like I was like working while at my other job.
Yeah.
On streaming, and I was dangerously close to losing my other job, and I had to be really careful to walk that tightrope because it's every hour of every day that you can find time, squeeze it in there if you want to make it work.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because it's not something where you can approach it kind of like I mean, at least not if you're viewing it as something that you want to take up full time in order to replace a job per se. It's really something that you got to view as your job. So you really got to put in the time. So
Exactly. You got any follow-up questions for us?
No, I don't think so.
All right, man. Well, you want to let everybody know where they can find you on the internet right now if they want to get in on the bottom floor of End of the Line Industries?
It's actually exactly that. It would be twitch.tv/Mr. End of the Line.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much, and you have a fantastic day.
You as well. Thanks, guys.
What a great guy. I like that dude.
Seriously.
All right, I think we got time. We'll grab one more person. Let's grab this guy's Mega Man 088. Mega Man 088.
Might have some copyright.
Hello.
Welcome on
Yes, it has been a long time. I've been waiting. So this question really is not in regards to like streaming, but making videos actually. So I guess I can ask the both of you, what were some of your motivations really behind making content on YouTube?
For me, making YouTube content?
Yeah.
I started making YouTube content because when I told people I didn't have a YouTube channel, they were like, "You're a fucking idiot," and they immediately disregarded me.
Same here.
Yeah, I don't do YouTube.
I thought I was the only one.
I don't do YouTube. You're a fucking moron. You have to do YouTube. Like for me, I started doing YouTube because if you are in the entertainment industry and you don't do YouTube, as in addition to whatever else you're doing, you're not taken seriously. It's like the business card for everything else that you do. Now, if I say, yeah, I do YouTube, but it's not my primary focus, and they'll check my YouTube numbers and it's like, they'll be, oh, he has 200,000, YouTube subscribers. Oh, but he's got, 600 plus thousand on Twitch. Oh, Twitch is his primary thing. Okay, well, we'll talk to him about working on Twitch. There's a lot of there's a lot of necessity for YouTube. Also, it's really super fucking easy to make one YouTube video every single day. And I know people are gonna get fucking mad at me, but you need to understand this statement. You can start OBS, hit record video, and talk into your camera for 5 minutes about fucking anything and directly upload that. You don't have to be the next fucking YouTube mega editing smart vlog, whatever the fuck you think you need to be. This is literally how I approached YouTube when I started. Minimum effort. Like I was so focused on the least amount of effort I could possibly put into ever making content on YouTube just so it was there.
You are not Deadpool. Minimum effort.
Yeah, minimum effort.
I agree. I guess you could say it was like 2-3 weeks ago that I started taking the whole let me upload what I do on Twitch on there because I kind of want people to see, hey, this is what you're kind of missing out on by not coming here.
Yeah.
And I guess that's like my way of saying, yeah, like you always been like you've been saying this whole time, that's my business card. I'm using it as a means to introduce myself to the world, to let them know like, hey, I'm here, come see me. Yeah. Okay. This is what you're missing out on if you don't come see me.
Yeah. I mean, there's that. There's the fact that YouTube's a great place to record your thoughts. Everyone always wants to know everyone else's thoughts on everything. Look at my chat for more than 5 minutes. You'll see the question, what are your thoughts on insert thing 100 times? Oh, so man, you could literally what's the news of the day? Oh, everybody's talking about bunnies. Yo guys, what's up? It's your boy Mega Man, and we're here to talk about bunny rabbits and why they're fucking awful. Or whatever. The pathways to making content are so you can simplify them as much as you have to fit into your schedule. That's why I love Instagram and YouTube for making content, because you are a full on fucking bullshit artist if you tell me you don't have 15 seconds to talk into your fucking phone that you stare at all day to make an Instagram story, or 5 minutes to use the same goddamn phone to talk into it about whatever your thoughts of the day are. Like, there's so many options.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, like I said, I'd be lying to myself if I said I don't do it. Because trust me when I tell you, like every random thought that I have, it's usually gonna go on Twitter.
That's fantastic.
Go on Instagram, or go on Facebook, or maybe even YouTube. Maybe I get a chuckle here and there, but usually, yeah, like I tend to, put my thoughts out there because I feel like, okay, if it's something like I need to chime in on, I'll do it. But if it's something that I just randomly just want to get out there to the public, I just usually, do that. Like the other day, I literally made a video and said, "Hey guys, guess what? Sephiroth isn't an alien. If you don't know who that is, you need to go play Final Fantasy VII like right now."
That's awesome, man. Seriously. Yeah. All right. So that's me. Smashley, you mentioned that you do YouTube. What was your motivation to getting into YouTube?
I had somebody tell me that that you're an idiot for not doing YouTube. So I have a very minimal YouTube channel. I regularly put, I guess, what goes on Twitch on there, but it's not a regular thing for me. I've moved on to basically putting out content that I feel people want to see on YouTube. So I am going the heavy editing route, but it is working kind of for me, except for the fact that it's not. I get basically one good video every 2 weeks because that's what I have time for. And it's not helping it grow, and at most it's directing a few people who really enjoy the videos back to my Twitch channel. But for the most part, I'm totally with Roman that you need to be putting out content as often as possible on every platform that you're available on, like whether that is Instagram or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch. Like, if you can devote the time to putting in that content, do it. And YouTube is like my most neglected right now platform that I basically work with. I more or less work more with Twitter and Instagram, but for the most part, I mean, like, YouTube is going to get you a lot more people coming by Twitch because it's similar content, if that's what you're looking to use it for.
Oh yeah. I like all of what I'm hearing right now. I mean, honestly, like I said, I just started using like YouTube like 2-3 weeks ago because I don't know, like this light bulb went off in my head and I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just go ahead and give YouTube a chance again. I mean, in the past, like I'll sit there and throw out random videos, like say if I'm playing Street Fighter 5 and I'm having like a good time there, and I'll show up, oh hey, here's what I learned with this character here. Or if I'm playing games like Dragon Ball Fighters and I'm like, okay, check out this team here, they're so low tier, their insert, comment there. But I mean, I've been mostly using like Twitter and Instagram this whole time just because I feel like, you know what, man, like they're highly populated, and I'm not gonna sit there and not say Facebook isn't either. And I've been making it a point, in chat, because I know somebody brought it up before. Shouts out to Thor's Banhammer for asking about Facebook. And yeah, I agree, you should totally use it because there's not a lot of people who look at Facebook and say, oh yeah, man, like that's not so good. Trust me, man, if friggin' Tim can go on Facebook and he's on there streaming like every single day and he's racking up the numbers, and I know you can too. And this is coming from someone who isn't as big on Twitch or Facebook, Instagram, whatever. But I'm sitting here as an observer and who does go to Tim's streams when he does find the time, and I'm noticing like this guy's putting in work, and I gotta say I respect that mess like with every ounce of my being. So yeah, like trust me, like Bro Man and Smashley are not lying when they say you need to use every tool available to you. Like, and that's what I've been doing too. And believe me, like I've been having like people come into the to the streams and stuff, and they've been noticing, okay, like this guy's an original. Like he'll sit there and randomly blur out some stuff like every chance that he gets, and I do it. Like I seriously, if it's like a random dumb thought, I'm probably gonna say it out loud. Like trust me, like
that's awesome.
I get told I'm a goof, but at the same time,
no secrets on this guy. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've really got sort of your approach nailed down, and I think from where you're at right now, it's just putting in the work and putting in the time.
Oh yeah, it's like one step at a time. Like I said, it's been a slow but steady process, but at the same time I'm enjoying it, you know. And
Yeah.
and that's another thing too. I kind of want to get across, because I've always said this on my streams, like, you know, it's not about yeah, this is something that you guys have been saying too, but I want to reiterate too, like, yeah, people are not numbers. They are your friends, they are your audience.
Yeah.
This is not the Matrix, okay? Please don't look at people like numbers.
It's not the Matrix is probably my favorite clip.
You are in a machine. You are just a number. We will soon assimilate you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Okay, so that's YouTube. Do you have like a follow up to that, or?
Yeah. So now that I know motivations behind YouTube, I always tend to make this like a thing I ask everybody. So when you first got started, what motivated you to say, you know what, let me go ahead and present myself to everybody on the internet?
Why did I start streaming?
Yeah,
I wanted to start streaming so I could raise money for the Prevent Cancer Foundation at AGDQ.
Oh man.
See, Broman's got such a more noble cause than me. I just wanted a few people to play with.
I mean, I could say I feel the same way. I mean, like, I wanted people to play games with, and honestly, you know, like, as a dude who's lost his dad to cancer in like 2005, and mind you, that was like my sweet 16, and it was horrible. I kind of felt like I had, like, I guess you can say, like, for like, what, 12 years, I didn't have like any way to like bring awareness to it. But
Yeah.
I guess you could say, like, after like last week, if you want to get technical, after I did my first charity stream and I got close to the goal, but I couldn't really hit that mark. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what, any help counts. I mean,
Yeah,
I figured,
the-
you know,
the
that
attempt
could
is
be
what
my thing,
matters.
you know, like, I can sit there and bring awareness to, you know, people about, like, hey, cancer sucks. And the thing is like, I used like a little catchy slogan. And for anybody that knows this reference, my slogan was defeat the Sigma virus. And believe me, like,
Yeah, Mega Man.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, it got quite a, you know, bit of attention, and it was actually pretty funny. Like, I mean, and mind you, I'm never gonna do a 24-hour stream for quite some time, but
Yeah,
it
they're
was
scary.
pretty fun for those 24 hours that I was actually doing it.
Yeah, I don't recommend 24-hour streams.
Yeah,
I did
20.
I don't do it
two
all
of
the
them,
time.
almost
It's
died, so-
killer. Like, for the ones who do, I respect them, but it's like, don't do it all the time. If you plan on doing stuff like that, trust me, it will literally take years off your life. People, don't do it.
Don't completely agree. Awesome, man. Well, Mega Man, you want to let everybody know where they can find you on the old internet box?
Oh yeah,
Because
you can-
Smashley has
you know-
a hard out at 1, so I want to make sure we wrap everything up.
Oh yeah. So you can hit me up at twitch.tv/megaman088_scum. Next year I'm changing the name back to Megaman088. Trust me, I think it's time this boy goes solo again. Twitter, you can find me at Megaman0scum. YouTube, Maverick Hunter Gaming, and Instagram, the Megaman088.
Awesome,
You gotta
man.
unify those, man. You gotta get that all as one thing.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Gotta work on that, man.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm
I'll leave you
trying.
with that.
I'm trying.
I'll leave you with that.
Thank you, Smashley.
Awesome, man. You have a great day.
You too, man.
All right. It's a great podcast. Yay. Okay, so Smashley's got she's got a thing. Gotta go do at 1,
Live
right?
D&D.
Yeah, live D&D. So if you want to watch that, you can get the F out of my channel and go watch that. But yeah, do you have any like a parting thought that you want to share with everybody? And also, please give yourself a shout out and everything that you're working on so that people can find and follow you.
Not follow me on anything at all ever. Okay. I'm Smashley. If you guys haven't known who I am, you can check me out on Twitch, Smashley. It's Smashley Twitch on Twitter, Smashley Twitch on Instagram, and I think if you just search Smashley in Google, it pulls up all of my stuff. So, besides that one MMA fighter girl, that's not me. Although I might want to fight her if I get to bring my hammer. So
One day.
I don't know.
Fight. If you like shoes,
Yes.
if you're a shoe person, this is Smashley loves shoes. So like
Follow me on Instagram if you love shoes. We're gonna be doing a video soon.
Pimp
of
that
literally
Instagram.
Every single shoe I have, like, because I just moved, So they're all in boxes, and I own over like 160 pairs of shoes. So if you love shoes, follow my Instagram. I don't know. I really like shoes. They're really nice, you know.
Awesome. All right. I second all of that. Everyone should go follow Smashley everywhere that you can, especially if you like shoes. Because.
And I have one final thing to say.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, great. All right.
Sorry, one final thing.
No, that's wonderful.
A lot of people, if you're just watching this podcast and you just now hearing about me, a lot of people get very stressed or worried about using cameras on Twitch, and think that because they don't use a camera or they don't want to use a camera or feel pressured to use a camera, that they are going to be behind. I will say that you are giving yourself a slight disadvantage by not using a camera, but I have made it 3.5 years and am successful on Twitch and have never used a camera besides literally for live shows like live D&D and special events. Like, my regular broadcast does not use a camera, and it affords some benefits towards your actual content that you can put out. And so my community is literally built around the fact that I don't use a camera, and you can do it too if that's what you want to do. I do recommend using a camera, but if you hate that idea, you can do it too. Just a little.
No, I think that's the camera conversation is so important. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, everybody, we're gonna wrap it up. Go follow Smashley. Stream with or without a camera. If you got any value out of today's podcast, please share it with somebody who you think would like to hear it or need to hear it. If you've got friends that want to be broadcasters or they're small business owners or whatever, I feel like we covered a lot of things today that are incredibly important for all kinds of people. If you could rate or subscribe to the podcast, that would be the best thing ever. Thank you for listening today, and we will talk to you next time. Bye, everyone.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on.